Hello, welcome back to my channel where I discuss manhood, and as I say, you can't discuss manhood without discussing womanhood. So I'll be going back and forth when I talk about each. My last video, I talked about being a whole and complete person before you get into a relationship is so important, your mental health, and I described 8 stages of human growth and development that we all should look and check and assess whether we have met crucial points in our human development that enables us to be a better person and bring a better person to a relationship. Many people say, what do you bring to the table? And I ask, who do you bring to the table? Who is showing up when you want to be in a relationship, a love relationship with someone else? What kind of person are you? Are you whole, healthy, and complete? And that is important before you try to add someone to your life, that your life is at a place where you're satisfied and you're happy with it. You want to bring someone into a work in progress. It's very difficult to be you and striving for things and then have an additional stress of being in a relationship. It's much easier if you are as well-rounded and as healthy as you possibly can be. And the age group that I have been hearing or reading in the online groups and forums such as Reddit are young men in young adulthood. And I wanted today to go in depth about young adulthood. Now, young adulthood is your late teens to your mid to late 30s. So we're looking at from 18, 19, I'd say, to about 37. That is what is considered young adulthood. And today I'm going to be going over the stage of human growth and development that age group should be trying to meet, live into, and strive for while they're having love relationships. This is considered the prime of life. You're most beautiful. You're physically fit. Your sex drive is high. Your ambition is high. Your motivation is high. So let's look at what is occurring and what should occur in young adulthood. Now, in young adulthood, I want to say this. This is the time when you're looking at intimacy versus isolation. This is the time when people are trying to have relationships and connections, even with, your friends, your peers, and of course the opposite sex or the same sex, whichever is your preference. So this is the time where you do have long-lasting relationship bonds. And I discussed in the prior video that you can see these long-term bonds for people that go to college and join fraternities and sororities. Those people become lifelong friends, 1 or 2. You'll see them in weddings, and you'll see them later gathering for their sorority and stuff. And also the military. The military allows people to form long-term bonds. They may be in different states, haven't seen each other in years. They catch up, they reminisce, but those are long bonds. And what intimacy means, the best definition for me is see into me. Intimacy is see into me. And a lot of people in the young adulthood, they're not thinking about having those kind of connections. They keep mystery. They don't reveal themselves because they're not actually looking for long-term relationships. So they're not allowing potential love interests to see into them. And that creates a problem. No one wants to be in a relationship where the person is half in, half out, still looking, still interviewing, still testing, still trying to find. So people want to receive all the benefits of a long-term relationship while they're not committed. They're not in it for a long-term relationship. So you notice that when you meet people, you're not saying, hey, I'm looking at you for a potential long-term relationship. No, they just out there enjoying themselves. This is the time when they say they're sowing wild oats and stuff. So we're not giving what we expect to receive. And that's why it's so much imbalance in this age group, in the dating scene. It's so easy to find people on Facebook and Bumble and Tinder, and just go through person and person and person and person. And you want to have all those options, but you want someone to invest fully into you. And so it's almost a standoff. Girls are not giving their all when they meet a fella, and a man isn't giving his all. And so you have these raggedy relationships that everyone's complaining about. But it is what you're bringing. Who are you showing up? Who are you bringing to the table? What are you fishing with? Whatever you're fishing with to get a person, the bait you're using, that's what you're going to get. So if you like, I want to have a good time, you're going to get a person who's not invested either. It is just the way it is. When you are settled and say, I am looking for a wife or a husband, you use different baits. You approach situations different. And everyone realizes this, whether it's spoken or not. You get those vibes and you get those feelings. So it's a lot of people that are not interested in intimacy. And intimacy is not sex. You can have sex and you don't reveal yourself. You don't give of yourself. You don't show your emotions. You don't tell your deep feelings. Intimacy is different. You allow a person to see into you. So that's what happens. And if you don't have intimacy, you end up with isolation. And when we're getting into this complaining cycle with the incels and the men going their own way, and I give up, I quit, I'm just in a complaining situation, you're becoming isolated. Your world is becoming smaller. You're setting up a dynamic of, it's against me. I'm alone. This is only happening to me. This is difficult for me. And that pulls you into isolation instead of reaching out to intimacy. So I want to go over, like I say, the young adult, what's going on in your life. You're in the prime of your life. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You got everything going for you. And this is a time when the young adult is becoming an independent person with a life of their own. They're hitting another autonomy stage, just like the toddler. When the toddler said, oh, I don't need someone to take me here, bring me this. I can use my body in so many ways that I can get it myself. I can do it myself. I'm free to run. I can play. I'm not have to sit in this stroller until someone gets me out. I am mobile on my own, and I can use this body and do things, and I'm testing its limits, like jumping off stuff and running, even running into walls. And same thing now, you're hitting, and young adulthood is hitting autonomy. And their autonomy is, I'm not under the rules of my parents anymore. I can make decisions. I can make choices. I can do this. And you get the young adults now, I'm not a kid anymore. But they're not becoming an independent person with a life of their own. They're still dependent at home, but then they want the social life of their own. But it has to go across the board. Being able to take care of yourself, trying to have a job that will allow you to take care of yourself, focusing on where you're going to live and how you're going to manage your home. So we're going to get into that more. So this is a time where they're testing this new fantastic body. I mean, it's snatched and it's muscular and it's fit. And you're like, I'm going to see what it can do. It can attract all these women. It can attract all these men. It opened doors. Beautiful women get favors and get allowed to do things. And everyone turn heads when you walk in, and people are testing, young adults are testing their limits. And of course, they're running into walls too, and they're touching fire and find out they get burned. And the toddler will stop. If the fire's hot and they get burned, they won't do it again. But the young adult tends to get burned over and over and over with situations and keep doing it and don't stop. But at the time, hopefully they will learn to stop. So autonomy. I can make my own rules. I can do what I decide to do. I don't have curfews. I can drink alcohol and get as drunk as I want to. And the limits are tested. Now, also in young adulthood, of course, you have establish more firmly your likes, your dislikes, your preferences, and you develop a philosophy of life. Some young people have a doomsday, a despair philosophy. Oh, life is so hard, I can't get anything, and life is unfair, and that is a philosophy. But a good philosophy is, I'm young, I have a lot of years ahead of me, I can put in the work and be diligent. The doors can open for me. I can make this happen. This is my decision. This is what I want to do, and I put in the energy towards it. And establishing your identity. I am a person who works towards a goal. I am a person who complains and is not proactive. I am a person who says life happens to me instead of I make life happen. That's what you're making identities in the 20-something. And it's sad that the incels are saying, nobody wants me. I have to be alone, but no one picks me. You don't have to stay in that state. You can be proactive and do things to make yourself feel good first. What are you doing that you're happy and joyous about? People are attracted to happy people. People are attracted to kind people. People are attracted to loving people. So it isn't about, I'm not out there having sex. If sex is a goal, you don't have a lot of people just sign up for sex all the time, as one would think. Even though this is the most sexually active time in most people's lives, you have to bring something else. Who are you showing up to at the table? What are you fishing with to attract people to you? You just can't say, I want someone, and then someone appears. Life is putting in the work. And it always begins with self. How am I? What am I presenting? Because you are with you your entire lifespan. You are with you. A partners come and go. Love interests may come and go. Sex partners come and go. But the one thing that's there all the time is you. So who are you? How are you showing up to the table? So an identity has been established, and it can be a negative identity. I'll never get what I want, or it can be a positive. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm going at 20, I'm here, 30, I'm here, at 40, I'm there, at 50, I'm there. You have to be the person, one person, before you can invite someone in to join you on the ride of your life. Okay, you're becoming more stable emotionally. And even though during this time, love relationships come, go, and fail, but you're supposed to become emotionally stable. You should be able to assess, identify, and understand where things went wrong and be able to correct. You should be able to understand throughout history, there's always been heartbreak, breakups, love loss, relationship fails. Divorce is not anything new. Separation, cheating is not anything new. These have been going on forever, and somehow people have continued to have relationships, find love, or if they didn't, became settled in their lives. You are still living. You are still supposed to be happy and have joy in your life. And if that's dependent on having a love relationship, and if the love relationship isn't there, then you're miserable. You're not emotionally stable. And in the same thing, when you assess, why did I have a breakup? You have to assess, what type of people am I always trying to date that's rejecting me? You have to do your work. You have to do self-assessment and reflection on who you are. And this time and trial in your 20s, going through this, makes you a stronger person in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. If you crumble emotionally in young adulthood, what kind of life are you going to have going forward? So it's very important to learn, to grow, to bounce back, to rise, because people have been doing it forever in relationships. Everyone has a bad relationship story, maybe 2, 3, or 4, or 5. It happens. Okay, so they're forming close and lasting relationships and finding intimacy. We already discussed that. This is that point where you do establish those relationships. You're deciding on or pursuing a career. You have a career direction, if that requires education or some kind of training for that career. And I think we fail our children in really discussing. We ask young kids what you want to be, and they say doctor, lawyer, astronaut, and we're so happy and pleased, and that's as far as it goes. No one helps you to help to see a path for that. So if you want to be an astronaut, you need to say, well, you need to starting doing this. You need to brush up on your science. You need to brush up on your math. You need to look at the requirements needed for that position and work on those and go from there. No one is assisting young people in their career. They finish high school and then the parents kind of see and look what you're going to do. Same thing, oh, you're going to go to college. What you going to do? There's not enough guidance and support and help with young people forming a career. And one thing is girls go to college in a much higher rate than guys. Guys say they just don't see a need for it. And one of the things is they want that fast money. They want that money in their pocket so they can be independent now that they don't have curfews, now that they're grown. They want to have the money to put on the clothes they want to dress though they want to, and have pull up with the car they want to. They're interested in money right then. Instead of looking at the long term, give up the clothes right now. Give up the being able to purchase all your alcohol and go in the clubs and do your car. Give up that for 4 years so you can have a lifetime of a higher income to do those things. And we're not explaining and talking to people. Now, everything isn't about college, because right now, service people, plumbers, electricians, and bulldoze workers and stuff like that are making tons of money. People can't even find those people, carpenters, to work, training like that. But you give up 4 years to train and prepare for your life with a higher income. But that fast, quick money in the pocket right now to spend $200 a week is great for a young person, but it's not enough for you to be able to prepare for a life of your own first, and then you have something to invite someone into. People want to invite people into their lives and they have nothing. You know, you stand with your parents. You don't even pay them anything for staying with them. You're not buying groceries. You're not doing anything. You're spending money. You're not responsible. And same thing with women. You're buying all that weave and fingernails and everything like that. You're not establishing your own life. And that's what young adulthood is. Establishing your life. And then later on you look up and say, hey, I don't have what I wanted to have. But you wanted the quick right then. Even in the military, it's a good time for you to get some free training and then come out and double down on that training and become even more proficient in that. But young adulthood is a time to decide on and pursue your career with education or training. Most people, I'm going to get the job that's available. Those jobs that are available with no forethought and no real skill will not be enough to support a family. It just won't. And men are like, women are interested in money only. It's not money only. Stability, security is important for a husband, a wife, and children. And it is a real concern. You don't sign up for anything that you're not going to be stable and secure in. No one else wants to do that. So it's not a rejection of poor people. It's a rejection. I need to be secure, to know where my next meal coming from, if it's a roof over my head, and will my children be able to eat. And that is wisdom. It's wisdom. And no one should be upset about that. And then you say, well, what does she do? it's the same thing for her. A woman should do the same thing. She's not married. She should be preparing for her own life, the ability to take care of herself, because there aren't a lot of proposals out there. And a lot of women are single, and they're single with children, and they're raising those kids and providing for them. So it doesn't matter, male or female. You need to be in young adulthood preparing for and pursuing a career, because you're setting up your own life. Your parents won't be around to take care of you and assist you forever. And it's one thing of a parent is that they really don't like is the thought of, when I am gone and dead, will my child be able to make it? That is a hard thought for a parent to have. And so parents would like for their kids, while they're living, to be able to set up their own life and take care of themselves. And so at this time also, you're becoming a part of a group or community. You're voting, volunteering. You're in part of organizations, like I said, fraternity, sorority, military, group activities, voting. I wanted to say that to get more involved. Somehow our young adults are not engaged. When I was helping with an election for the president one time and registering voters, the 20-somethings had no interest, had never registered, didn't plan to vote, didn't care. The parents couldn't get them to vote. It is important that from a young age, we tell our people, when you turn 18, you need to vote, you need to be involved. I'm involved. You need to talk politics with your children before they're 18, so they will be engaged. I mean, one person didn't even know Obama was running for president, and it was just shocking, absolutely shocking, that they didn't even know who the presidential candidates was. Even when Obama, it was just everywhere. And somehow in their circle, in their life, in their world, in their reality, none of that was filtering in. And you just have to wonder, where could a person be? Where could a person's mind be during that time that they didn't even know Obama was running for president? It was kind of sad, to say the least. What they was doing, I have no idea. I have no idea. And it was kind of sad to hear that. All right, you're establishing a residence, learning how to manage a household, how to budget, and maintain a home. Now, we know COVID had a devastating effect, the economy. Everyone, no matter if they have a master's degree or what have you, they aren't able to get a job. They drown in the student loan. More young adults are at home with their parents. It just is. There's not a living wage that you can get a job anymore and afford rent, car insurance, car payment, utilities. It is just hard. And everyone recognizes that. But I'm saying, still, even if you're living with your parents, you should have a job. You should be contributing to that household. You're not in the child stage anymore. You become an adult. You should contribute to the utilities, grocery, and the mortgage or rent, whichever one. You should be acting as an adult. That's what adults do. And as you live there, you should be saving the entire time, whatever you could save for your future, because your parents will not be around forever for you to have that support system. So that realization should be hitting you really hard and digging in even more. I really have to do something, because if my parents aren't here anymore, I will really be destitute, in poverty, absolutely lost, miserable. So I don't know if people are saving at this time while they're staying with their parent in hopes of having a place their own, even if it's 20 years down the line. That is a great thing. If you're able to stay with your parents 20 entire years and bank money, you should be able to launch sooner or later. You should have a plan that this is what I'm going to do. And if you're living with your parents and you're unable to support yourself financially because of the income, not because economy, not because of yourself, you should understand to bring another person to marry someone, to have children and bring them into that. That is a bigger load on your parents, on yourself, and what have you. Some thought has to go into, am I able to support myself? Yes, check. Do I have enough to marry and support a wife? Yes, check. And if we have children, can we support our children? Check. Those should be the thought patterns instead of, I want to be with someone. That is not maturity. That isn't emotionally stable. That's an unstable attitude and thought. A bad philosophy. I want what I want when I want it, and I just got to have it. Okay. So it said learning to manage a household, learning to budget. So you can do all of those things still as a young adult while you're in your parents' house, budgeting and help maintain a home. Are you cleaning? Are you contributing as an adult? Most of the young adults want to do none of those things and then say, but I'm grown. That is really horrible. Absolutely horrible. In your relationship, parent-child relationship, you want all the benefits of the child and none of the actual follow-through that the parent would need, because this is how I treat a child. But you telling me where I have to divide and start treating you like adults. Parents want to treat their children like adults, but you have to behave as an adult. And that's what young adulthood is. You're becoming an adult. You are an adult. It's just not an age. I'm 27. I'm grown. And you don't do anything to contribute to your parents' household or help or support them. And so I'm here for you too. I know this is a burden. I'm living here still. You're so loving to me. You're allowing me to stay. This is what I want to give back to you. Those are adult philosophies and attitudes. Some people are married in their 20s and becoming a parent and learning to be a parent. So that is major also. And you're focused then. I'm a parent. I want to be a good parent. I want to raise good children. And you learning how to parent. And parenting is something that needs to have thought also. We went through the stages of development. It is really crucial to guide and instruct and teach your kids and be their support as they go through the stages of development that hopefully you went through and understand they need to go through. Okay, making marital and relationship adjustments. You have to adjust. Everyone is so unique. You're special. You're different. You got your own needs, wants, likes, and desires. The same thing with the potential person you would like to date. They have their own needs, wants, and desires. It is difficult to match up that easily with unique people with their own desires. So you adjust, you meet people, you try, you work on it. Everything isn't magical and fall into place and then it's perfect. It's compromises and it's adjustments to see if you fit, to work if you fit. And when relationships don't work up, it's that self-assessment to say what culpability and what responsibility did I have in the relationship going wrong? Who am I? Am I even likable? I think some people ought to ask themselves, am I even likable? Am I kind? Am I nice? I don't think people even take time to do that. And kind and nice isn't I spend money on you. Kind and nice isn't I'm so pretty for you. What kind of person are you? You know, it's a lot of mean people, nasty people, vicious people, and they want to be loved, and they're not loving. They're not lovable. So it's who are you bringing to the table? Now, at this time, young adults are aware of consequences and personal limitations. Your brain has developed enough that you know, if I do this action, this will happen. If I behave this way, this will be the result. You are old enough to understand there are consequences to your action. And it's so funny in the religious field, or arena, you'll find people doing unlawful things, immoral things, just evil things, bad things, vengeful things. And then when they get in trouble, they praying to God. The devil is after them, and the devil is busy, and they did all of this stuff. Actions have consequences, and it's not the devil is busy. You did this, you put this in motion, this is what's going to happen. And sometimes you get in trouble, you have to pay, you lose friends, you lose family relationships, you lose jobs, you lose girlfriends, you lose boyfriends. And they praying to be covered. Of course, God hears prayers, and I am not involved in if he answers them or not. That's not my business. But at this young adulthood, you're no longer a child. You have experienced enough of life to know bad things lead to pain, hurt, consequences. Also, you're aware of your personal limitations. We went back to the early school day, child, when they assessed themselves in relation to their peers. This is the group of people I'm in. How do I measure up against them? That was done way back at age 6 and 7. They were able to recognize differences, whether I'm equal or a little lower than, or I can't do that, or I'm better than that. Now we're in young adulthood, and you're able to understand your personal limitation. Everyone does not look like Denzel Washington. Who else? Will Smith, Michael, whatever Jordan. Okay. Everyone isn't a Michael Jordan in sports. All other ones, I can't even name everybody. You know your personal limitations. And you either can improve them or accept them. And people are saying high value woman, high value man, low value woman, low value man. Oh, she's a 10, or she's through with. What does it say? She's been used up. She's through in her 30s. Nobody wants her anymore, and on and on and on. The thing is, everyone in the world cannot be a 10. And 10s, people who are 10s do not want a 3. That is being able to understand. Now, I don't think there's anything such as a 0, but I have a number for myself, and I understand how pretty I am, how dynamic I am, how intelligent I am. I understand my emotional quotient, my IQ, EQ. I understand who I am, and I understand what I want and what I want to have. Now, that being said, everyone understands who they are, what they have as the talents and gifts, personality, but everybody wants a 10, and that's not possible. And the thing about it is, I can see a person, and I can be completely attracted to that person. They fit me completely, and to me, they're a 10. To someone else, they're a 5. These numbers we give people, they're so subjective, and it kind of needs to stop. It really needs to stop giving these people numbers. But we do know our own personal limitations, and we need to live within them, but they're not set in stone. You're a growing person. You should grow. You should become more expansive in every areas of your education, of your character, even your philosophy and worldview should always be changing and becoming better. That's what you want to do. Hopefully, when you're 20, you don't want to be the same person when you're 60. You've lived 40 years, and you mean in 40 years you haven't changed or grew or become different, better for yourself first. If you're striving to do it for a person, like I say, it's so subjective. You may be at your height and wonderful, in your mind you're a 9, and you meet this person, they think you're a 2, and then you crumble. That's bad. That is bad, because that is subjective. But the main thing I want to say, there are gorgeous people in the world. There are so many gorgeous people in the world. And those gorgeous people want gorgeous people. That's just the way it is. And then everybody wants the gorgeous person. It just doesn't happen like that. And it's unrealistic, and you have to be more mature and understand that there's other qualities that make someone beautiful. And even if you marry that beautiful person, like we say, that was the prime of your life, 18, 19 to 37, it's a downhill slide after that. People do not get pictures. People no longer look like themselves whatsoever by the time they're 60 and 70. So if you marry a person for their looks and attractiveness, they change. It changes. It will not be the same. And what happens then when the trophy that you married, especially during childbirth, a woman come out of pregnancy and you can't even recognize her. She has her looks have completely changed. Nose, bigger feet, bigger hands, bigger skin done changed, hair is different. Pregnancy does a job. There's no guarantees what you're going to look like after pregnancy. So all this, I want this beauty, beauty, beauty. And there's so many. I know I see them all the time online. And I'm like, how can someone be that gorgeous? And they are that gorgeous. And we want that. And then you go outside in your neighborhood and none of that is around in your neighborhood. None of that is in your area. You married in your economic group and social group. And your social group don't look like those people that you're looking at online and on your phone constantly, every day. Okay. Now your peer group is less important in determining behavior. And I wish this was true, but it absolutely seems like in the young adulthood, it's even worse. Now you have money to buy everything, and you're buying the same thing everyone else has. You're doing the same thing everyone else is doing. You look, a lot of the ladies in their makeup and hair extensions and nails, they all look the same. It's a look. What happened to their individuality? I have no idea. The guys, all of you wearing your pants hanging down. I don't know who decided. If someone can tell me why young men enjoy that so much, except when they are part of a group, they feel accepted. It's important to them when someone look at them, they know what kind of group they belong to. And we're talking about people that are supposed to be making a path in careers, getting training and education. That's the group you want to be associated with. That's what you want to belong to. And even in the marrying time and having a family, and of course you can be a dad with your pants hanging halfway off of you, but you're raising children, and it's a demonstration of, I keep up with what others doing so I can be a part of them, instead of I am carving my own path in life. And all these outside influences really aren't what I'm interested in. I have goals. I'm moving forward. I'm growing. I'm reaching and moving on. So the peer group is supposed to be less important. But, you know, I can go places and I can see all this blue extensions in and red extensions in and blonde extensions in. And I'm like, career path. Moving towards being a wife and in a long-term relationship, and the mind is just on so many other things. And because you're at your peak, you're at your most gorgeous, you're at your prime, you're at their autonomy, testing their bodies, you can do this and this. Children are conceived in this time. Young ladies are having children, sometimes by multiple men. And of course, the young men are having children with various women, and that is not setting up your life, because to set up your life would include taking care of your offsprings and ensuring they were fine and becoming that's emotionally stable. I care about my children. I'm involved in their upbringing. And the same thing with young women. I have children. I care about my children. I care who I bring around my children. I'm making them a stable home. I'm emotionally and mentally stable. I'm moving and growing and becoming still. And a lot of that is not happening. And I just think it's a failure. We parents have not been on our jobs. And so we didn't instill a lot of things we need to instill in you all. And now the 20-somethings who didn't have anything poured into them don't have anything to pour into their children. And it's just a vicious cycle. And people are like, it's generational curses. And it is, it's generational curse because we're not pouring into each other the way we need to pour into each other. And that's the same thing when I get to talking more in depth about manhood. Manhood is taught and learned. You were born male. You grew up to be a man. But manhood is something that is taught and learned and then practiced as a lifestyle. You will be a man regardless of anything. But manhood is different. So I'm going to wrap it up. My videos tend to go too long. I'm going to have to learn to make them shorter, but it's just so much information that I don't want to splice it in the middle and start again because you may not pick up each one. But I thank you so much for indulging me in starting this journey on my discussion on manhood. And it's actually, I call it Manhood Interrupted. I think it's interrupted right now, but it's never been destroyed, and it never will be destroyed. And that's what I'll be going into from this point on. And my next video will be masculinity versus manhood. And I'm going to look at the differences between masculinity and manhood and talk in depth about masculinity and then manhood, okay? So I thank you so much for coming back and tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, follow, comment, okay? Don't forget to get my book, When Will Eve Be Forgiven? Like I say, you can't talk about manhood without womanhood. And that is a look into Christian history and how women have been depicted throughout the Bible and how the early church fathers spoke about women, and whether the church did a good job now in modern time teaching sound doctrine on what it is to be a woman in womanhood. So thank you. I look forward to seeing you again. And you have a great time. And we're through with the stages of human growth and development. If there's anything you need me to clarify, feel free to let me know. If there's a subject you would like me to talk about, please let me know and I'll do so. So thank you so much and have a great day.